Imagine waking up tomorrow in a world ruled by elephants. They build cities. They create music. They fly airplanes. They send rockets into space. Humans still exist, but only inside zoos. Sounds impossible, right? But now ask yourself a different question. Why is that impossible? After all, elephants have bigger brains than we do. Dolphins are incredibly intelligent. Chimpanzees share almost 99% of our DNA. So why didn't they build civilizations? Why didn't wolves invent language? Why didn't crows create technology? Why are humans the only species that completely changed the planet? The answer isn't strength. It isn't brain size. And it definitely isn't luck. The real answer began millions of years ago with one tiny change that completely rewrote the future of Earth. If you traveled back 6 million years, you wouldn't find humans. You wouldn't see cities, roads, or even simple villages. You would find forests filled with strange creatures that looked more like apes than people. They climbed trees. They searched for fruit. They spent every day trying to survive. Nothing about them suggested they would one day become the most powerful species on Earth. In fact, our ancestors were among the weakest animals around them. They had no claws to fight predators. They had no sharp teeth to defend themselves. They couldn't run as fast as deer. They couldn't smell danger like wolves. They couldn't fly like birds or hide inside thick shells like turtles. By every rule of evolution, these small primates should have disappeared forever. But then the world changed. The forests of Africa slowly began disappearing. Huge grasslands replaced thick trees. Suddenly, life became much harder. Food was farther away. Predators were everywhere. Staying in trees was no longer enough. Survival demanded something completely different. Some ancient apes stayed inside the forests. Their descendants are today's chimpanzees and gorillas. Others stepped into the open grasslands. That single decision changed history forever. Walking on two legs was slow at first. It looked awkward. It even made early humans more vulnerable. But it also freed something incredibly valuable. Their hands. Those free hands became the greatest weapon evolution had ever created. Instead of growing bigger teeth, humans picked up stones. Instead of growing claws, they sharpened sticks. Instead of waiting for nature to help them, they started helping themselves. That was the beginning of technology. The first tools were unbelievably simple. A broken rock with one sharp edge. A heavy stone used like a hammer. A pointed stick for digging roots. To us, they seem primitive. But at that moment, they were revolutionary. For the first time, an animal wasn't depending only on its body to survive. It was using objects to change the world around it. That simple idea separated humans from almost every other species on Earth. Animals adapt their bodies. Humans adapt their environment. And once that process began, it never stopped. But tools alone didn't make humans different. Chimpanzees also use sticks. Crows bend wires into hooks. Sea otters crack shells with rocks. Many animals can use simple tools. So why didn't they build civilizations? Because the real breakthrough wasn't outside the body. It happened inside the brain. Over hundreds of thousands of years, the human brain slowly changed. Not by becoming the biggest, but by becoming better connected. Different parts of the brain started working together in new ways. Memory improved. Planning improved. Curiosity grew stronger. Humans stopped thinking only about today. They began imagining tomorrow. Imagine seeing a river. Most animals see water. An early human saw a problem. Then a solution. Maybe a fallen tree could become a bridge. Maybe vines could become a rope. Maybe there was another way across. That tiny difference changed everything. Before building anything with their hands, humans first built it inside their minds. Imagination became humanity's greatest survival tool. But imagination alone still wasn't enough. One person can only discover so much. Real progress began when humans learned something even more powerful. Sharing knowledge. Think about wolves. A wolf learns to hunt mostly by watching its pack. But when that wolf dies, almost everything it learned disappears with it. Now imagine an ancient human discovering a better way to make a stone spear. Instead of taking that knowledge to the grave, they showed others. Children learned it. Friends improved it. The next generation made it even better. Knowledge no longer died with the individual. It became permanent. That was one of the greatest inventions in history. Not fire. Not the wheel. Shared learning. Every generation started life where the previous generation ended. Instead of starting from zero, humans kept building higher and higher. One discovery became 10. 10 became 100. 100 became civilization. And then something happened that no other animal has ever mastered. Humans created language. Not simple warning sounds. Not basic calls. Real language. Language that could describe the past. Language that could imagine the future. Language that could explain ideas that didn't even exist yet. Suddenly, one person could teach hundreds. Hundreds could teach thousands. Thousands could preserve knowledge for generations that had not even been born. That changed the direction of evolution forever. For the first time in Earth's history, information evolved faster than biology. Humans no longer needed stronger bodies. They needed better ideas. And that was only the beginning. But ideas alone could not protect humans from hungry lions or freezing winters. They needed something even more powerful. They needed to work together. Many animals live in groups, but most groups stay small. Chimpanzees can cooperate with a few dozen members. Wolves hunt in packs. Ants build colonies by instinct. Humans became different because they could cooperate with thousands, and eventually millions of complete strangers. How? Because they believed in the same stories. A flag is just a piece of cloth. Money is just paper. A country is just lines on a map. Yet billions of people believe in these invisible ideas. That ability to share imaginary concepts allowed humans to build societies far larger than any other animal could ever imagine. It wasn't muscles that built civilizations. It was belief. Once humans trusted each other through shared ideas, progress exploded. Villages became towns. Towns became cities. Cities became kingdoms. Every generation inherited more knowledge than the one before it. While other animals stayed almost the same for thousands of years, humans kept changing faster and faster. Then came another turning point: fire. At first humans feared it just like every other animal. But eventually they learned to control it. Fire cooked food, killed dangerous bacteria, kept predators away, and gave people light after sunset. Nights were no longer just about survival. Families gathered around campfires. They talked. They shared stories. Parents taught children everything they had learned. Around those fires, knowledge traveled from one generation to the next. Every story made the next generation a little smarter. Every lesson became another step forward. This is something evolution had never seen before. Human knowledge began growing faster than human biology. Then humans discovered farming. Instead of following food, they started growing it. People settled in one place. Villages became permanent. Food surpluses allowed some people to become builders, inventors, artists, and teachers instead of hunters. Civilization accelerated. Writing appeared. For the first time, knowledge could survive even after its creator died. Books replaced memory. Libraries replaced campfires. One idea could travel across continents and survive for thousands of years. Imagine if every wolf had to rediscover hunting from the beginning. That is how most animals still live today. Humans don't. We inherit millions of discoveries before we even start school. Every child is born into thousands of years of accumulated knowledge. That is our greatest evolutionary advantage. Today, a teenager with a smartphone has access to more information than the greatest kings had only a few centuries ago. The internet connects billions of minds together. Scientists on opposite sides of the planet solve problems together without ever meeting. Engineers design spacecraft. Doctors discover new medicines. Programmers create artificial intelligence. Every invention becomes the starting point for the next invention. Evolution is no longer happening only inside our DNA. It is happening through ideas. So why didn't dolphins do the same? Why didn't elephants build cities? Why didn't chimpanzees invent writing? Because intelligence alone isn't enough. Many animals are intelligent. Some can solve puzzles. Some recognize themselves in mirrors. Some even understand simple language. But humans combined several rare abilities at the same time: complex language, long-term planning, powerful imagination, shared beliefs, continuous learning, massive cooperation. Together, those abilities created something nature had never seen before: civilization. Even today, scientists still debate exactly why these abilities came together only in humans. Some believe climate change forced our ancestors to adapt faster. Others think social cooperation reshaped the brain over millions of years. The truth is that we still don't know every answer. But one thing is certain. Humans did not become the rulers of Earth because we were the strongest. We became the rulers because we never stopped learning. Every generation left behind a ladder for the next generation to climb. That ladder eventually reached the moon. It built skyscrapers. It created the internet. And now it is creating artificial intelligence. Millions of years ago, our ancestors struggled to survive against predators with nothing but simple stone tools. Today, their descendants are exploring distant planets and searching for life beyond Earth. Nature gave us ordinary bodies, but an extraordinary mind. And perhaps that is the greatest mystery of all. The most powerful weapon on Earth was never sharp teeth or giant muscles. It was a curious mind that kept asking one simple question. What if? That single question changed our past, created our present, and may one day shape the future of the entire universe.